Okay, I started the recording. Okay, good morning again, dear students. Today I'll be discussing the exercise 1.3 of inverse function of your first unit function. Actually, I may not have discussed this exercise since we recently completed the topic and recently we discussed the problems too. But few students asked me to solve few problems of exercise too, so I'm going to do that. And moreover, we are not in a hurry to complete the course in this crisis time, so let's get engaged with this more problems, so you will be used to with these things. I discussed the basic concept earlier in earlier classes also. I'll revise the things if necessary here. So till now 27 students are present, so let me begin my session. Okay, the question number 1, let me begin by from very short questions. The question asks, define one-to-one function with an example. Okay, in definition of inverse function, I think the definition of inverse function is more important than the definition of one-to-one function. So let me begin by writing the definition of inverse function. What do you mean by inverse function? There is certain condition in which inverse of a function can be defined. Not always. You cannot define the inverse of a function always. Let me write the definition. Let f such that a to b, and please write along with me. Okay, write in your rough copy. Let you can make this of be any one-to-one onto function. Let f so that a to b be any one-to-one onto function. Mark this one. This is very important. If the function is not one-to-one and onto, then you cannot talk of the inverse function. To discuss inverse of any function, you need to have the function is one-to-one and onto. Let f so that a to b be any one-to-one onto function, then a function f inverse, function f to the power minus 1. You need to write this way, f minus 1. Let f so that a to b be any one-to-one onto function, then a function f inverse defined from b to a is called inverse function. Okay, this is the definition of inverse function, but you need to remember that I told you in the earlier classes also. Let me reiterate it. Note, f inverse is not equals to 1 upon f. It is never equal to the reciprocal of any function. It is something different than the inverse. Okay, never get confused. Note number 2, f inverse x is also not equals to 1 upon e of x. This is also not equal. Okay, I hope you are getting to the point. So let me discuss what do you mean by one-to-one function, and it asks you to give an example also. To define one-to-one function, I hope you noted these things here. Define one-to-one function with an example. I have to discuss this thing here. Define one-to-one function with an example. A function is said to be one-to-one if every element in the domain is mapped with only one element in the range. That's very straightforward answer. Let me write the solution here for you. A function f such that a to b is called a function f such that a to b is called one to one function. Mind it, there is only one to one, not one to. For a function to be for a function for the existence of inverse, the function must be one to one onto both. So, but we are going to define the one to one function only. A function f such that a to b is called one to one function if every element of domain is mapped with, this is very important definition, just note it right now. Domain is, if every element of domain is mapped with only one element of range. Or codomain, you can say simply codomain also. But replace this range by codomain. See here, to give an example of one-to-one function, let me give you an example in terms of arrow diagram. Suppose there are two sets. Okay, suppose this is set A and then set B. Let me define a function such that this function is an one-to-one function. 1, 2, 3, and the elements like 1. Let me put here let me put here something value added to these things. 1 plus 1 is 2. Let me add 1 on the elements of the domain. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. And let me put some more elements here. Okay, so 1 mapped with 2, 2 mapped with 3, 3 mapped with 4. This is one-to-one function. This function f defined from a to b is an one-to-one function. Yeah, 5 is left, but this doesn't matter. For the functions to be into or onto, these elements also matter here. If this is left, if this one element is left extra without being mapped, then this function is called into function. Let me remind these things also. We don't need to write these things here. If the range is subset of codomain, then the function is into function. And if the range is equals to the codomain, then it is called the onto function. Okay, this is the definition of the question number 1. Now question number 2. What is the required condition for existence of inverse of a function? What is the required condition for existence of inverse of a function? I told you earlier in the definition of inverse function. Okay, you can see the definition here. One-to-one onto. This is the required condition for the inverse of a function. You can simply write, what is the required condition for existence of inverse? The condition for existence of inverse of a function is, the function must be one-to-one and onto. Okay, number 3. Do all the functions have their inverses? Okay, as I told you earlier, no, all the functions don't have their inverses. For all the functions, there is no any existence of inverse. Only those functions, those are one-to-one onto, will have the existence of inverse. one-to-one र onto हुने function को मात्रै inverse exist गर्छ, अरूको inverse exist गर्दैन. Okay, let me not go in deeper sense of these questions. Let me go to the answer straightforwardly. We discussed why inverse doesn't exist in earlier classes also. You can review those classes. Question number 4. There are three functions a, b, and in a, b, and c, and the question has given the functions in terms of ordered pair. And I think you're asked to find the inverse here. The question asks you to find the inverse. See, the question reads, find the inverse function of the following functions. F is equals to a comma x, b comma y, c comma z. G is equals to 2 comma 6, 3 comma 9, 4 comma 12, 5 comma 15. H is equals to 1 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 3 comma 4, 4 comma 5, and 5 comma 6. Since this is the very short questions, you can directly write the answer of these questions. F inverse, I'll solve one for you. F inverse is equals to, let me interchange the position of the components here. So this will be a comma x will be x comma a, y comma b, and then z comma c. If the elements are in the ordered pair form, then you can simply exchange the position of the components that are given in the function. Similarly, you can solve this question number g and h also. Question number g and h, you can solve these two questions also. Now question number 5. This is question number 5. If f is equals to 2 comma 1, 4 comma 1, 5 comma 1, does f inverse exist? This is a very vital question to understand what is inverse of a function. So let me discuss it in detail. So question number 5. Okay, let me write somewhere here around here. I hope you have written these things. I think I can erase these things also. Let me erase this. Okay, why is it not erased? Okay, let me erase it at first. Okay, now question number 5. I don't know why it is not erased here. Okay, question number 5. For question number 5, let me select the marker here. Okay, question number 5. F is equals to 2, 1, 4, 1, and 5, 1. If the function is given in terms of ordered pairs, then it is very easy to check whether the inverse exists or not. To check whether the inverse exists or not, simply draw the arrow diagram and first of all make sense whether that it is 1 to 1 and onto or not. Let me draw the arrow diagram of this function. The arrow diagram of this function will be something like this. This function is g of. Let me insert the first components in the first set. So the components are 2, 4, and 5. Okay, you just write the solution after writing the given things here. Okay, write given f is equals to something like that and representing in arrow diagram. Okay, 2, 4, and 1, and the second component is 1 in all the ordered pairs. See here, be very careful. 1 is repeated in 3 ordered pairs, but you are not supposed to repeat this in this figure. In the arrow diagram, you just need to write the element without repeating. Okay, so be very careful while writing these things. And now let me join this arrow here. Let me map this element. 2 is mapped with 1, 4 is mapped with 1, 5 is also mapped with 1. This function is not 1 to 1 and onto. What I told you earlier in the definition of 1 to 1 and onto, that one element, every element must be mapped with only one element of set B. So, but in this case, there are many elements that are mapped to one element. यताको धेरै एलिमेन्टहरु यताको एउटा एलिमेन्टसँग मात्र म्याप भइराछ। खासमा हुनुपर्ने 1 to 1 को लागि के थियो, एउटा एलिमेन्ट एउटासँग म्याप हुनुपर्ने थियो। One element must be mapped with only one element. So this is many to one function. The inverse of function f does not exist because it is not 1 to 1 function. You can simply write the reason. The inverse of function f does not exist, or f inverse does not exist, since this is many to one function, or you can write since this is not 1 to 1 onto function. Okay, are you getting me? Now let me go to the question number 6. Let f such that R to R be defined by fx is equals to 2x minus 3. Find the formula that defines the inverse function f inverse. I discussed these things in earlier classes also. Let me review these things again. Now the function, earlier we solved the inverse here in this question number 4a in ordered pair form. This was very easy. So let me do it in the form of algebraic terms also. When the algebraic terms are given, then let us solve this in some other way. We need to do various steps here. At first, what is given here? Let me write it stepwise. Solution fx is equals to 2x minus 3. Fx is equals to 2x minus 3. Let y is equals to fx. Let y is equals to fx. To find the inverse, at first step, step number 1, we need to replace fx by y. So, and then now replace the value of fx here. Y is equals to 2x minus 3. Now, in second number, in step number 2, interchange the roles of x and y. Step number 2, interchange the roles of x and y. So let me write it here. Interchanging the roles of x and y. Interchanging the roles of x and y. So now replace the values of x with y and y with the x. Now this y will be x, and you can replace this x by y. So it will be 2y minus 3. I hope all of you are writing along with me. You must be prepared with pen and a rough copy in each online class. I hope you are obeying me, you are following me. Otherwise, there is no any sense of attending this online class. Okay, so step number 3. In step number 3, you need to solve for y, or in other words, you just need to make this y in one side. So shifting the other terms here, x plus 3 will be equals to 2y, or x plus 3 divided by 2 is equals to y. Now this y is single here, so you can write it this way also. Y is equals to x plus 3 by 2. And number 4, and in step number 4, after solving for y, replace the value of y by f inverse. Actually, that is the inverse. Okay, so this y is this y is the inverse of function. Therefore, you can simply write f inverse x is equals to x plus 3 by 2. Okay, if you were following me, then I think if you have not understood in the earlier classes also, then you must have understood this. Okay, I have gone through step by step. In PowerPoint, I have presented the solution, but in this case, I have solved it step by step. So there must not be any problem for you. Okay, let me revise the steps. At first, what you need to do? Step number 1. Step number 1, you need to suppose the given function with y, and step number 2, you need to interchange the roles of x and y. Step number 3, you need to solve for y, and in step number 4, you need to replace the value of y by f inverse x. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Okay. What is disturbance? Can you please mute your microphone? Okay, now let me go to the next one. Now question number 7. I don't know why this question is in very short questions here, but it will be a bit lengthy. Okay, if such questions are asked, you are not supposed to do it in shortcut ways, because we have some tricks to find the inverse of the function in shortcut ways also, but let's not go for that shortcut ways. Let's solve it with the full approach. Okay, this question number 7a, this is also the function y fx is equals to 4x plus 5. So here it is given in set builder form, set builder notation, but actually you can solve easily. After writing this, you can simply write solution given f is equals to, first of all write the copy the question at first, such that y equals to 4x plus 5. At first you can copy the question. Let us simply write, that is, it means that the function fx is equals to, you can simply write in the second step, the function fx is equals to 4x plus 5. Okay, so continue from here, you can solve this question easily. And this question number B and question number C. Okay, I request you to solve this question number C, 7C. Can you solve this question right now? Question number 7C. Solve this question right now. Okay, question number 7C. This h is equals to x comma y, so that y is equals to 4x plus 3 whole upon minus x minus 1, x not equals to 1. Solve this question right now. Okay, so solve it and this is show me the solution. Okay, tell me the answer, what you will get from here. Okay, solve it right now. I request everyone to solve this one. Okay, okay. Is anyone solving this question? I'll talk with you right now. Okay, RN Kuar, RN, are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you solve this question?
Sir, I will try.
Okay, just try it. Okay. Sorry, I request every one of you who are present in this class to solve this question. You just do it first and you can check your answer with mine here in this classroom. Okay, 7C. What is, okay, let me go straight forward to the solution. What is given here? H is equals to, let me write it directly, hx is equals to 4x plus 3 divided by x minus 1. This function is given hx is equals to 4x plus 3 divided by, yes please.
Sir, f inverse x is equals to x plus 3 by x minus 4.
F inverse x is equals to, wait for a while. Okay, I'll note your answer and check it later. Okay, can you tell, can you repeat it again? H inverse x is equals to, you told me earlier, H inverse x
plus 3 by x minus 4. Sir, 7C.
Yeah, just tell me the answer. I'm noting it here. 7C. Your answer is H inverse x is equals to
x plus 3 by x minus 4.
X plus 3 by x minus 4. Okay, let me check it quickly. Okay, let's replace it by y at first. Y is equals to 4x plus 3 divided by x minus 1. And second step, we need to interchange the roles of x and y. I'm not going to write the full sentence right now. So it will be x is equals to 4y plus 3 divided by y minus 1. So in second step, we need to, and this is the third step actually, let's interchange, let's solve for y. So for this, we need to multiply it, cross multiply it, x times y minus 1, it is equals to 4y plus 3. So let's multiply it with basic algebra. So it will be xy minus x is equals to 4y plus 3. Shift all the terms that has y on one side, xy minus 4y. These two terms has y here, so I'm shifting these two terms on one side. Now it will be x plus 3 on the other side. I think your answer is correct, brother. Now let's take common y here. Y times y common x minus 4, it is equals to x plus 3. So it will be y is equals to x plus 3 divided by x minus 4. Is this the answer? Yeah, you got the correct answer, Sunam. Congratulations. Okay, I hope all of you got this solution. This type of particularly this type of questions are a bit difficult to solve. Okay, when there are two variables of x in the function. Okay, see there, see in number A, So I solved this question, although I solved the question number A also, since there were two variables. Such types of question students may find problems. Okay, focus on such questions. These are very basic questions. Number 7A, such types of question where there are two variables of x, these types of question may create you problems. So be careful. Okay, so y can be replaced with h inverse x is equals to x plus 3 divided by x minus 4. This is your answer. Okay, I think you may not have problem in question number 8, since the question asks you to show it in arrow diagram. At first, f is given already here. F is already given there. F inverse you need to find, and you need to show it in arrow diagram. Okay, find both f and f inverse in mapping diagram. First of all, show f in the arrow diagram, and later f inverse in the arrow diagram. Okay, just interchange the sets of the function. Now, short questions. If gx is equals to 3x minus 5, then find g inverse x, where g is a one-to-one onto function. Okay, the question clearly states that this is a one-to-one onto function. Otherwise, if the question asks you to find the inverse, then you need to have a perception that the function is a one-to-one onto function. Otherwise, the question may not ask you to find the inverse. Okay, let me solve this one with the earlier question. Okay, with the help of the earlier question. Okay, why we have calculated the inverse? I think somewhere around here. Okay, let me guide you in this question. We already found here f inverse. I don't know which question was here. Maybe around question number 7A, something like that. Okay, f inverse x is given here. So if I need to find f inverse 2, if I need to find any functional value like f inverse 2, f inverse 4, f inverse minus 2, f inverse minus 3, I just need to simply plug the value of x with 2 in the function f inverse x. See here, let me use the other color here. Okay, since f inverse x is equals to x plus 3 by 2, this function is f inverse x, so I need to replace this x with 2 right now. Okay, to find f inverse 2, I need to replace this x by 2. So why not replace this x also with 2? So let's replace this 2 also, x also. So it will be 2 plus 3 divided by 2. Okay, it's not necessary that you need to plug always 2 here. Whatever value that you are inserting here, that you need to insert the same value here also. Okay, if I insert 5 here, then I need to insert 5 in the right side also. So it will be 2 plus 3 will be 5 divided by 2. Okay, I think you can solve this question. Since at first you need to find, in this question, at first just find g inverse x. Okay, first find g inverse x here, find g inverse x, and then replace the x by 5, you will get g inverse 5. Okay, similar with the question number 9B also, you can solve this question easily. At first find h inverse x, first find h inverse x, and find value of h inverse 4. Okay, similarly with the, you can solve these questions easily. Question number 10A, 10B, this question of the same approach. Now let me solve question number 11A. If you can solve it, if you can solve this question, then you can do it in on also, question number 11A. But let me solve this one right now. Okay, I request you to solve it on your own also. Just find the f inverse x. Let me discuss here. First find the f inverse x and find the f inverse 4 and equate this condition here. Okay, and equate these terms. F inverse 4 is equals to 20 is given here, so equate these things. Okay, what is my question? Okay, let's solve this. Question number 11A. So solve it right now. If you can solve this, I know most of you can solve it. So let me solve it on this side. I have enough space here. Question number 11A. I hope you this is visible enough to understand the things. Okay, 11 number A, question number 11A. Okay, what is given there? Fx is equals to, I think this is a bit lighter. Fx is equals to 2x plus k is given here. 2x plus k. Such types of question are very important. Okay, just mark this question. Question number 11, very important from your exam point of view. Most of the time these questions are repeated in your exam. So fx is equals to 2x plus k is given here. At first find the inverse, f inverse x. How to find? Let us follow the same steps that we followed earlier. let y is equals to fx, y is equals to fx, then it will be y is equals to 2x plus k, y is equals to 2x plus k. Now let's interchange the roles of x and y. I hope you are following me. Interchanging the roles of x and y. Interchanging the roles of x and y. And then it will be y. Replace the value of y with x and x with y. So it will be x is equals to 2y plus k. Okay, are you getting me? Okay, now I need to solve for this y. To solve for this y, I can shift the other terms on same side, x minus k, since these two terms doesn't contain any y here, this x and k, they don't contain y, so I'm shifting them on the right side, x minus k, it will be equals to 2y. So now even 2 is there, this constant is here 2, I'm going to replace this 2 also on the right side, so it will be x minus k divided by 2, x minus k divided by 2 will be equals to y. So this is the inverse, y is equals to x minus k by 2, no matter whether there is k or any other constants or any other numbers, but inverse is inverse. It doesn't matter whether there is any constants or not, but the inverse is always the inverse. So f inverse of x is equals to, from here we can conclude that f inverse of x is equals to x minus k divided by 2. This is our inverse. At first you need to understand these things, but in the question further told you that f inverse 4 is equals to 20. So now let's find the f inverse 4 also. Now f inverse 4 is equals to 20. This is given here. So replace 4 in the x of f inverse. This 4 you need to replace in this x. Okay, so it will be f inverse 4. Do you understand or not? This f inverse x is given here. This f inverse x. So you need to replace this 4 here. So if you replace this on the left side, you need to replace that on the right side also. So it will be 4 minus k divided by 2. Let me write with another pen. 4 minus k. So simply replace here. 4 minus k divided by 2. It is equals to 20. Has anyone solved the answer? Has anyone solved this question? Have you got the solution or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
what is the answer?
Minus 36.
Minus 36.
Minus 36. Very good. Minus k is equals to 40 minus 4. So it will be minus k is equals to 36 and k will be equals to minus 36. This is your answer. I hope all of you have solved this. Okay. Okay, now let me continue with the other question. I hope you copied this. Copy it right now. Now let's go to question number 12a. This question number 12a. What is written here? Let's see this. Okay, why it is zooming? Okay, this one is very crucial question. Question number 12a, very important one. Okay, let's discuss this. I discussed it in earlier classes also. So let me revise these things here. I think if I revise this one, this will cover both question number 12 and 13. So I'll solve any one of these questions. Let me solve that from question number 13c. Okay, these are same question number 12 and 13. Some mathematical operations will be different. So let me solve question number 13c. If you can solve, then you can do it on your own also. Okay. Okay. Question number 13c. If you want to understand, then you just follow me. Otherwise, you can solve yourself also. 13c. What is given here? Solution. F of 4x plus 5. F 4x plus 5 is equals to 20x plus 24 is given here. 20x plus 24 is given here. So, question asks you to find f inverse x. Question asks you to find the f inverse x. For that, you need to find e of x at first. This is not e of x. Some quantity is here. 4x plus 5 is here. This is disturbing quantity here. So I need to replace this 4x plus 5 with some other things to find the value of e of x at first, and subsequently we'll find the value of e of inverse x. So be careful always to find the inverse of any function. At first you need to find that function. To find e of inverse x, you need to find e of x at first. Okay, so there are a few steps to find the e of x. There are some other approaches also, so but I'll follow the same one approach throughout all the questions. Let me replace this 4x plus 5, the thing that is here, the quantity this 4x plus 5, let me replace it with some other quantities, some other constants. Let 4x plus 5 equals to k. You can simply replace it by a or any other constants, but don't replace it directly with kx. Okay, replacing with x may give another sense. So let me replace 4x plus 5 with some constants like k. This k is my favorite one, so I use this k. Now let's simplify it further. 4x is equals to k minus 5. I need to solve for x. Okay, after solving this, so x is equals to k minus 5 by 4. This is a very basic step that you need to do to find the function when composite of a function is given. Actually, that is the composite function. F4x plus 5 is the composite function there. So x is equals to k minus 5 by 4. Now I need to replace all the values of x in this function with this new value. I need to change this variable with k in terms of k. So it will be, therefore, f, you can simply replace 4x plus 5 with k here, since this is k. Or otherwise you can replace this x with k minus 5 by 4. You will get the same result, but I will prefer the first one. Simply replace 4x plus 5 by k. 4x plus 5 by k. Therefore fk. Since it is 4x plus 5, we are replacing it by k. So f of k will be equals to 20 times x is here. X is here, so it will be k minus 5 divided by 4. I hope you understand this one. Plus 24. If you have any confusion, then you can ask me right now. Okay, I simply replace this 4x plus 5 by k. Since this whole variable can be replaced with k, we have supposed it as a new variable k, and there is x on the other side. What I told you earlier is that you need to replace all the value of x with this new constant, new quantity. You need to replace this x with other quantity, so it will be k minus 5 by 4. So let's replace it further. Let's simplify it further. 4 5 is 20. 4 5 is 20, so it will be 5k. Let me simplify it with one more step. 5k minus 5 5 is 25 plus 24. So it will be 5k minus 1. Okay, I told you earlier in previous classes also, e of k is equals to 5k minus 1. E of k is equals to 5k minus 1. Now you can simply replace this k with x. जहाँ जहाँ k छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ x ले replace गर्ने. Since k is arbitrary variable, since k is arbitrary, I told you earlier. Can you tell me what is the meaning of arbitrary? I told you in the earlier classes also, the meaning of arbitrary is random. Since k is arbitrary variable, so fx is equals to 5x minus 1. It was x k earlier, now it will be fx. This is the required case. This is the required thing to find the inverse. Now you can find the inverse from here. Okay, just find the inverse yourself. Okay, inverse, do it yourself. Do it yourself. Okay, I think you can find the inverse from here. Now let me go to the long question. I think you are following me. You are solving along with me. If you have not copied, then copy it fast and see question number 14a. You can find the inverse later. Now let's go to the question number 14a. Question number 14. Okay, read the question. If f and g are, if f and g are two one-to-one and onto function, the question is making sure that the inverse exists. Even if it is not given and the inverse is defined and inverse is given there, then you can simply understand that these functions are one-to-one and onto. Okay, if g inverse is given something like this, then you need to understand that g is the one-to-one and onto function, otherwise the inverse doesn't exist. And these functions are given like this: fx is equals to 2x minus 3, gx is equals to 4x plus 5, and one more condition is given here, that is f composite of fx is equals to g inverse x. This one is very easy, but try to understand the question. Let me clear the basic concept of these things here. F composite fx is given here in one side and g inverse x is given on the other side. Since 5 marks question will be asked from this topic, you need to be clear with the concept. Okay, see here, f composite fx is given and on the left side and g inverse x on the other side. So let's find the f composite fx at first. Okay, I think we can find the f composite fx and later find g inverse x and equate these two things. Okay, first step is to find the composite, second step is to find the inverse of g, and then equating the things you will get the value of x. Okay, let me solve this for okay, if I solve this question, then I think all the questions of question number 14 will be covered. So let me solve this one. Solution, just follow me. Okay, solution, here fx is given, fx is equals to 2x minus 3, gx is also given there, gx is equals to 4x plus 5. So let's give the priority to the left hand side at first. Let's find the f composite fx and then g inverse x. Let me write these things, copy these things here. F composite fx is equals to g inverse x. These are the given things. If you don't understand, then just interrupt me. Okay, somewhere in the middle. F composite fx is equal to g inverse x. So let's find the f composite fx at first. Now f composite of fx, if you can solve, then don't just wait for me. Okay, you can do it on your own also. F composite of fx is equals to fx. We are going to find the composite of this function with the same function, f composite of fx. It will be f, since this is fx, now let me replace the values here, fx 2x minus 3. So it will be f 2x minus 3. So see here, you are given fx is equals to 2x minus 3. This is the given thing here. Fx is equal to x minus 3 is given. So to find f 2x minus 3, replace this x with 2x minus 3. This x with 2x minus 3. And this also with 2x minus 3. Okay, you can write it roughly on one side of a copy. F 2x minus 3 will be, now replace this one 2 times, I'm writing this 2. Okay, this 2 at first, add this 2 times 2x minus 3, 2 times this 2x minus 3. Okay, this 2x minus 3. So it will be 2x minus 3 minus 3. 2x minus 3 minus 3. Let me switch the color here. 2x minus 3 minus 3. Try to understand these things. Okay, don't get confused with these basic things. These are the basic things here. So this is 2x minus 3. This 2x minus 3. I replace this 2x minus 3 here in the x of f. So after replacing this, it will be 2 is already here, 2 is here, the same 2, and the x will be replaced by 2x minus 3. It will be 2x minus 3 minus 3. Now simplify it further. It will be 2 times 2 is 4x, 2 times 3 is 6 minus 3. So it will be 4x minus 9. Okay, this is the composite function that is on the left side. Now again we need to find g inverse x. G inverse x. Let's find G inverse x. Again, we need to find G inverse x. To find G inverse x, how will you find G inverse x? For G inverse x, let me erase this one. Okay, for G inverse x, let y is equals to gx, y is equals to gx, and then what is gx? Is there given? Is it given there? Yes, it is given there that gx is 4x plus 5. So y is equals to 4x plus 5. Now, second step, you need to interchange the roles of x and y. Interchanging the roles of x and y. Interchanging the roles of x and y, you will get x is equals to 4y plus 5. Write along with me, okay? If you cannot solve it in your own, then it will be x minus 5 equals to 4y, and while y will be equals to x minus 5 divided by 4. Okay, you may have confusion. Let me do it the other way. Okay, let me do it the other way. X minus 5 divided by x minus, sorry. Okay, x minus 5 is equals to x minus 5 is equals to 4y. So x minus 5 divided by 4 will be equals to y, and you can replace this y with x minus 5 by 4. It is in the terms, then therefore G inverse x is equals to x minus 5 divided by 4. X minus 5 divided by 4. Okay, we got both the things. You have composite of x, that is of the left side, and G inverse x, that is of the right side. These both the things are calculated. So now let's compare these two things. Since one more thing is given here in the questions, f composite of x is equals to G inverse x. F composite of x is equals to G inverse x. So let's compare these two things here. Since f composite of fx is equals to G inverse of x, so what is f composite of fx? It is here. It is given here 4x minus 9. So it will be 4x minus 9 equals to, and the value of G inverse x is x minus 5 divided by 4. Okay, cross multiply it, and you will get the value of x. Question asks you to find the value of x. 4 times 4x minus 9 it is equals to x minus 5, or 4 times 4x is 16x minus 4 9 is 36 is equals to x minus 5, and then it will be 16x minus x is equals to 36 minus 5. Let me remind if there is any calculation mistake. Okay, 16x minus x is 15x, and it will be equals to 36 minus 5 is 31. So x will be equals to 31 divided by 15. Is there any calculation error? The answer doesn't come usually in this fraction. I don't think there is any error. Let me check it again. We found 2x minus 3 is the function. 2x minus 3, 2 times 2x minus 3 minus 3, 2 to the 4, 2 to the 6, 4x minus 6 minus 3, 4x minus 9. G inverse x is given. Y is equals to 4x plus 5. It is correct. Interchange the value of x and y. X is equals to 4y plus 5. X minus 5 equals to 4y. X minus 5 by 4 equals to y. So y is equals to x minus 5 by 4. Okay, and the question has given 4 composite f is equals to G inverse x. So compute the value. 4x minus 9 is equals to x minus 5 by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 9 is 36. X minus 5. 16x minus x is equals to 36 minus 5 on the other side. 36 minus 5 is 31. Okay, this is the correct answer. X is equals to 31 by 15. Therefore, your solution is x is equals to 31 by 15. This is your answer. Okay. Okay, copy this one as fast as possible so that we can discuss one more other question. Copy this one fast. Okay. I hope you solved it on your own also. Okay, can you tell me what do you mean by identity function? If the question asks you to find so that the function is an identity function, what do you do at that time? Vishal Dahal, Vishal, can you respond me? Vishal and Bisham. Vishal, Bisham, Buddhi, Divas. Can anyone respond me? Vishal Dahal, Bisham Rana Magar, Buddhi Gurung, and Divas Thani. Can anyone respond me here? Is there anyone? Can you respond me, guys? Okay, why Dibya is not in this session? Dibya, Prasan. Prasan Shrestha, Risha Shrestha. Why they left this session? Okay, can you respond me, guys? Divas, Bisham, Vishal, Buddhi, Vivek Nepani, can you respond me? Don't just hesitate to respond only. I'll not ask any difficult questions for you guys. I'm just trying to respond with you. I'm just trying to interact with you. Okay, if you don't respond from tomorrow, then I'll force you to leave this session, okay? At the middle of the class. There's no any meaning of joining this class, online class, if you remain silent here. Okay, let me go to the other questions also. Sorry, let me undo it. Okay, this is question number 14. You can solve all the question number 14. I solved question number 14A. Now question 15A. Let me discuss these things in briefly here. 15 and 16. I'll discuss these things briefly. You need to solve this question of 15 and 16. And I request you to complete this exercise. And tomorrow, let me remind you one thing. Be prepared with calculator, okay, scientific calculator, to discuss the synthetic division. Tomorrow I'll be discussing the synthetic division. I'll have some PowerPoint presentation tomorrow. You need to have scientific calculator to discuss the synthetic division. We will have some easy way if we have scientific calculator. Otherwise, we may find it difficult to solve that. Okay, so be prepared with that. This 15A, fx is equals to 2x minus 4 is given here, and you need to prove that f composite f inverse x is an identity function. The main thing that you need to show here is f composite f inverse x is equals to x. Sorry. To prove any function as an identity function, you need to show that function x f composite f inverse x is equals to x. If you can show this function in this way, then you can prove that this function is identity function. Okay, suppose the question asks you to find so that g inverse composite f is an identity function. Then you need to show g inverse composite f of x is equals to x. Okay, to prove any function as an identity function, you need to show the function the x equals to x. Okay, in this one, at first find f inverse x. First step number 1, find f inverse x, and step number 2, find f composite f inverse x. Step number 1, find f inverse x. Step number 2, find f composite f inverse x, and you will get the value. Eventually, you will get the value x. So the function, it will be proved that this function is an identity function. Okay, let me give some hint in question number 16 also. Fx is given, gx is given, and prove that f inverse composite g inverse 2 is equals to 0. Step number 1, find f inverse. Step number 2, find g inverse, and step number 3, find f inverse composite g inverse, and then step number 4, find f inverse composite g inverse 2. Okay, I think we can solve in this way. Okay, is there any problem in today's question? Okay, I think one student was asking about the constant function yesterday. I'll make one video and post it. Okay, I was supposed to do it today, but time doesn't permit me. Tomorrow I'll be discussing the synthetic division. If you have any problem, then just leave in the chat box in your team's chat. Okay, I have made a group of class 10 optional maths, so you can post it there. Okay, thank you, dear students. Take care. Have a good time. You can ask the questions later also in Teams chat. Let me stop the recording right now and in the session.
Bye, sir. Have a great time.
Okay.